Hello, my name's Ginny Metheral and I'm a fourth generation Irish witch, and I'm here today to talk to you about July witchcraft, particularly that pertaining to the 4th of July, where there's some pretty cool stuff going on. We're also going to look at the slightly lesser known traditions for witchcraft and the yarrow plant, as this is part of our herbology series as well as my monthly witchcraft series. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up and listen to this little recommendation from a very, very marvellous and great friend of mine.
Here is the magnificent Ginny Metheral, one of the few witches left in the wild. Subscribe to her channel and protect her future habitat.
Sir David Attenborough, for you ladies and gentlemen, he really talks so much sense. So one of the first things we're going to discuss is yarrow, and this is the yarrow here. Its Latin name is Achilles mellifolium, which refers to the thousands of tiny leaves that it has on its stalk, and also the fact that Achilles, the demigod, used it to staunch his wounds on the battlefields of Troy. It was used by the Chinese as part of their Book of Changes, otherwise known as the I Ching. Now, the I Ching is one of the eldest sort of manuals of divination that we have, and is at least 3,000 years old. It uses the yarrow stalks to cast them and then divine from them. Now, I have a particular sort of soft spot for the I Ching, Book of Changes, because it was my father's favourite form of divination, and every prediction that he made using the I Ching and his yarrow stalks would come true. It's a fascinating book, actually. I do advise you to buy one. In fact, I don't have one because I lost my father's copies, and should my husband like to buy me one for Christmas, here is a massive hint. Yarrow also has many witchy abilities to it, not least its divination propensity. If you take 10 stalks of yarrow and dry them, put them in a pouch, leave them underneath your pillow, and before you go to bed, if you ask the yarrow to show you who your future spouse will be, then you, that night, should dream of them. I think it's important in July to use the abundance that nature gives you to make your witchcraft come to life. And that's why we're talking about the yarrow today, because it has so many different uses, wound, healing, blood staunching, period pains, inflammatory, astringent, anti-inflammatory, I've said that, haven't I? Etc., etc. It also is this great love spell and love herb, and if you put it under your pillow, now this is the one thing that doctors do know is absolutely true, as apart from the blood staunching properties of it, is that if you put yarrow under your pillow, possibly with a little bit of lavender, dried yarrow, it will help you sleep. It is quite conducive to making you fall asleep. So great for insomnia. Just a few of these sprigs. Place it under your pillow, breathe in the scent as you're sleeping. It's a bit like hops. Hops have that terrible, quality to make you just sort of pass out. Hop pickers sleep, if anyone knows about that. When all the poor hop pickers were climbing up the ladders and they just drop off them asleep because the hops had overcome them. Yarrow's a bit like that. Yarrow and hops do the same sort of thing. But it is actually very useful, that kind of old-fashioned, easy, non-poisonous use of yarrow. It had a particular affinity for newlywed brides. If they carried yarrow in their bouquet, they would be guaranteed 7 years happiness. Gosh knows what happened after that. Do you think they all got divorced? Who knows? Anyway, you got 7 years if you carried a sprig of yarrow within your bouquet. If you mix it with lavender and roses and apple blossom, but there's no apple blossom at this time of year, so I can't believe that. But this is a traditional charm. That will give you a potent love spell, but I just don't believe it, because you can't get apple blossom in June. Well, I've never seen it. All my apple trees dropped their blossom months ago, now producing apples. However, that's what the tradition states, and as a traditional witch, but I'm here to look at these things and disprove them, or give you an updated version. The second thing I want to discuss is the rather incredible aspects that are happening around the 4th of July. The 4th of July has several different astronomical events happening all on that day, and so it's pretty special. It generally, when you have a lot of astronomical events coming together, signifies a lot of change. So the Mead moon is full on the 4th of July, and there is a penumbral eclipse happening on that time, where the moon passes through the shadow of the Earth. And if you look at the moon, you'll be able to see a slight portion of it will be just a bit darker than the rest of it. A curve at the bottom of it will be slightly darker. It's really difficult to see generally, but this penumbral eclipse also happens on the 4th of July. Penumbral eclipses were considered very lucky by ancient traditional witches. The other thing about the 4th of July is it's an aphelion. Now, aphelion is the day that the sun is furthest away from the Earth, and this happens at 12:34 in the Northern Hemisphere. And it is the time when you should worship the goddess of the sun, and the Pagans and Wiccans know her as Litha, but I have always known her as the traditional, more Anglo-Saxon form of Fritha, and she is one of my favourite of the guardians of the earth. She is a very kind and gentle soul, so she doesn't require any sacrifice on your part. Just look at the sun and give a little bit of thanks will work. She's not the sun itself. The sun is the celestial orb that she controls. Now, July is a lovely month. Not only have we got the 4th of July with all the celebrations and the amazing astronomical events that are happening, the aphelion, the penumbral eclipse, combined with the full moon. There's a lot going on there. These astronomical events tend to show that there's going to be a big change for the whole world. Now, what this change is going to be, I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet. Maybe when I take my yarrow stalks and dry them, I'll make the prediction and I'll let you know. One last piece of July folklore for you is it is good luck, apparently, to eat an oyster on the 31st of July. It will bring you luck for the rest of the oyster season. Of course, oysters aren't big and fat and delicious until September, October, or a month with an R in it, I believe they say. But if I ate an oyster, I would probably die. So I'm not going to do that, but feel free to have a go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so I can continue making more information like this for you. And in the meantime, I will see you in my next video. Oh goodness, lapsang's good. We must buy more of this, it's just too delicious. Oh, I love it.